time to... You're not supposed to be tuning up anymore, Mr. Stock. Let's start a song, please. Mr. Stock, the song. Get into a song. I'll tell you what, Mr. Stock, you just follow me, okay? I'll tell you, you just take it, Mr. Stock. Take it.
Well, we have a lot of stuff to do today. How about just skip the intro and...
Skip the intro? Well, what about these pictures they're showing here?
Well, they're the same pictures every week.
No, I'm getting a little bored of myself. Well, I guess maybe we could play a little bit here. Right?
No, just go ahead and start the show, Alan.
All right, once again, it is my supreme pleasure to introduce one of the world's worst banjo players, but a nice guy nonetheless, Mr. Folk. Mr. Stock, Mr. Folk. Hey. It's like I'm introducing the two of them. Mr. Stock?
That's
Mr.
right.
Folk.
That's right. Thank you.
It's Mr. Folk of South Florida.
Thank
Michael
you
Stock.
very much.
And
he was just kidding about the banjo part, right?
Yes.
Yes,
of course, Mr.
And
Stock.
welcome
I'm sure
to
there must be some
New
banjo player
Traditions.
somewhere in the world that's worse than you.
Welcome to New Traditions, everybody. This is always a show where we feature talent who live here in South Florida, and we broadcast here live at the WLRN studios at the Anna Brenner Meyer Telecommunications Center.
Yeah.
And we ask you to watch. Tell your friends.
That's it. Tell all your friends.
Tell all your friends. And my co-host Edgar Allan Poe IV is sitting in, as he does every day. Here,
every day?
As he does every week.
Well,
here,
three times.
Well, we have a lot of
three
stuff to
times a
cover.
week.
We have a lot of
Mondays
stuff.
want to run it down?
You want to do that now?
We'll do it again.
I'll let Alan, you try to do that. Here's your chance. Your
all right,
big
ready?
chance.
Tune in Mondays at 2:30 in the afternoon, Tuesdays at 10:30 in the morning, and Thursday nights at 10 o'clock. How about that?
That was good.
Very nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about my job yet.
See, I'm on the radio, Mr. Stock. Perhaps I should mention it. WDNA 88.9.
Maybe you
Thursday
shouldn't-
mornings from
maybe-
6 to 9. Got that radio voice, huh?
Maybe
What do you think?
you shouldn't mention that.
Oh.
But I do, well, since
What a
you mentioned it,
fact.
I do a show on radio
Wait,
called Folk and Acoustic Music on WLRN 91.3 FM. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to introduce our guests and get on with the show, New Traditions.
No, we should talk about our producer's radio show. From 6 to 9 on WDNA,
shut
88.9,
up, Mr.
Wednesday
Poe?
mornings at 6 to 9.
I am sick and tired of him. Let's get on. I just want to introduce the guests and then get on from there. Frank Thornton is here. Frank is a very talented multi-instrument player.
Instrumentalist?
Multi-instrumentalist.
Plays a gang
And, and we'll talk to him later on in the show, as we do all our guests. And our other guest is our monthly correspondent from the school board, Boomslang. And
good evening.
And we'll get to him soon enough.
Mm.
And let's talk about our T-shirts. Again, you know, I don't know what's... I like wearing T-shirts with the jacket. I think it's a nice effect, but it loses a lot when I don't wear new T-shirts. And I've been asking everyone in the audience to please send in new T-shirts. I'd like to wear T-shirts that have something to do with South Florida, promoting a arts fair or crafts or music, something. And so this T-shirt actually is the place where I am employed here at this building, WLRN 91.3 FM. This was a fair we had a few years ago, actually, to celebrate the opening of this building. And we have cable tap, radio, public TV, and that's what we're doing here.
So
And
that's a repeated T-shirt.
I've worn this shirt before, folks. I'm sorry, but you're not sending them in. And
Mr.
what do you have, Mr.
I don't
Poe?
understand. I have a million T-shirts. Let me get this air guitar out of the way here. Let's see. Looks like it's running out of air. But, you know, maybe they're not sending them to you, Mr. Stock, but I'm getting plenty of T-shirts. I'm getting more than I can handle here. You know, maybe if you're nice to me, I'll lend you one once in a while.
Mr. Poe, I think that...
And you don't have to repeat them all the time.
I think
but
that's
I'm getting lots of shirts. I mean, everywhere I go, people go, hey, you're the guy from New Traditions, right? Here, let me give you a shirt. And they just give me all kinds of shirts right off their back.
Well, I don't know if you're trying to get me jealous or what.
Well, I just...
That's good.
Maybe
But
you're just
we
not
want a
using the
T-shirt.
right approach.
If you don't see me on the streets and don't give me a T-shirt in person, send them in the mail. And here's the address for you to jot down. And remember, send a large T-shirt to New Traditions. To actually, Michael Stock, that's me. 172 Northeast 15th Street. That's the address of WLRN. And wear my T-shirt. I'll wear your T-shirt on TV. And
yeah. What about the shirt that I'm wearing? Are we gonna talk about that?
If you want to. I personally don't like...
Saloon Platoon.
I try to keep away from alcohol.
Quasi-military shirt, but also very festive in that it says, we're looking for a few good beers. It's very festive. It goes with the jacket, I think. the hat, the whole thing, the whole sartorial splendor here is kind of festive. And Boomslang here has his own beer company, Peters Road Beer. So I thought, well, this is.
Well, it's not his beer
We're
company.
We're looking for a few good beers. Unfortunately, that one doesn't quite make
Well,
it. But
I think
that's why we're looking for him.
Are you finished, Mr. Poe?
Yes, I think I am.
Okay. Well, let's get on to one of the. I promised last week that we're going to show pictures, and this was in the neighbors section of what issue was it actually? Early September, and this was a picture they took for Cable Tap, the cable access program they have here. And look who's on the cover. It's me and Mr. Poe. I don't know if you get it. Mr. Poe had long hair back then. He got a haircut, and also Doug, and also while we're at it, I gotta put in our directors here and camera people. This is Marcy Crawford, and Adrian Kennedy, and
Mr. Stock.
they look a lot better in person.
They do. They sure do. In fact, you had a few comments about my picture, didn't you?
I think that you look.
You said.
Well, get a close up. I think Alan looks kind of effeminate. In this
Feminine?
picture. Look how he looks cute there.
Feminine, Mr. Stock?
Doesn't he? His like little chin is kind of tucked over,
find
and
it-
his long hair. You don't
Well,
think
not
so?
that long hair is necessarily feminine, especially scraggly hair like that. The way.
Well, the worst part about the picture, if he wants to look feminine, it's okay, but I got to sit next to him. That's the only part I'm
I'm afraid
complaining
I'm
about.
besmirching your reputation, Mr. Stock.
I know so. What's really frustrating though is that I guess it's not unusual, but everybody comments on the picture in the newspaper, but no one says they saw the TV show. So
Yeah. But, Mr. Stock, you were saying that what? That I look feminine and you look like what? The macho one?
I look manly.
The manly one. But see, once they watch the show, it's a good thing they don't watch the show, because if they did, they would know quite the opposite, Mr. Stock.
Well, Alan, you could your defense mechanisms are at work, and you could rationalize all you want.
I wouldn't say it's a very complimentary picture of me, but I don't know how it looks. But certainly, as far as these
Drop it,
pictures of
mister.
our
See,
directors,
he gets
boy,
so upset that I say
very-
that he has to go carry on for hours about how it's not true.
I can affirm my heterosexuality by saying that these two directors here are actually quite pretty in real life, but this is not a flattering photo, I must say.
Well, they've already
And
saw it.
juxtaposed
We could-
with that photo, I'd
we
say I
could
look
move
pretty good in
on.
that picture.
We have a lot of ground to cover here in today's show, and we've already wasted almost 8 minutes because of Mr. Poe. Let's get to business.
Sorry, Mr.
Our
Stock.
first guest, Frank Thornton. Hi, Frank.
Hi.
Now,
Nice chest.
oh, thanks. It's like I'm trying to become a sex symbol as well.
Nice
in
chest.
South
What was the
Florida,
one?
and,
Let's take a reader
This is-
poll, you know.
I think we've had
viewer
enough
poll.
comments about ambiguous sexuality here.
well, can we continue, please?
Yes.
Okay. And if you want to make, I try to please the guests. If they try to be funny, I laugh a little bit. But you're not required to be funny.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I'd like to ask you. Right, you are from. You live in South Florida.
Yes.
Okay.
For
so
9 years.
For 9 years. Okay. Well, that's one
Close enough.
qualification
Mr.
here.
Stock, I can see you're getting on a roll here. I'd just like to point out, this guest pointed out to me before the show started he'd rather play more music and do less talk. Obviously, he has nothing to say. It's very little to say. He's one of those guys that, as you can see by his attempt at a joke earlier, why don't we just let him go? And
All right. Well, let me just ask you one quick
Heart's
question.
content.
Is music your livelihood?
Yes.
Okay. And you write all your own songs? You
No,
do?
I write. I do a mixture of covers and my own material.
Okay. Well, let's hear
I
some.
play. This is a song I wrote about a motel in Vancouver. One night about 13 years ago. It was not a pretty story. If it weren't for you, baby, I could be in my bed back home. I could be there now, not in your twilight zone. But now you got me, honey, just like a dog that's got a bone. We've been here all morning, looks like we might be here all night. Wait, you look at me, I can tell you're not right. Well, I see you smile when I think the end's in sight. Like a strike motel, well, I don't feel too well. Like a strike motel, only time will tell. One of us can't count, baby. Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
That
Yeah.
was great.
Woo.
Great stuff.
Mhm.
All right.
So, what is so funny?
I can see why he didn't want to do much interview. He just wanted to play music.
Well, I want to ask you a question. I don't want to get too personal.
Somebody asking questions like that.
I don't want to
How
get
do
too
you answer
personal.
a question like that?
You're disrupting the flow of the show here,
Oh, I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Pose.
Mr. Stark.
You perform, as you said earlier, for your livelihood.
Full time, right?
Full time. Are you busy all the time?
Not now. Usually yes. This is a slow time of year. I'm playing at Isla Morada tomorrow night.
Are you a starving artist?
No, I'm not starving at all. But yeah, I do pretty well. I
Good.
get
And
to
you,
buy toys and
you always do a solo thing,
yes,
always by yourself.
just about.
Do you plan to go into recording, or have you
Yes,
recorded?
yeah. I'm most interested in writing, and writing more of the tunes like this one, and getting a tape together and going to L.A. like everybody else does, I guess.
I
you
guess
know.
L.A. is where you want to go. How come you're in South Florida?
That's a good question. No, I came here to go to jazz school about in 1980 at University of Miami.
A lot of your classmates
Still trying to graduate, huh?
Right.
No. What an insulting thing to say.
Right.
I mean, that's
Thank
because he.
Thank you, Mr. Stock.
That's because he never graduated. That's why he brings that up.
well,
So, any of your classmates when you're from Miami still around town, or are they, you know? anyone, or-
yes and no. A few. Most of them have moved on.
Did it help? Did your jazz school
Oh,
help
yeah,
you?
Of course it did.
Oh.
It's a good school. It's very tough.
Oh, okay.
Severe.
Is it really? Oh, excuse me. Mr. Poe's making these funny noises.
He's, he's not going to get in all the songs he wants to get in with this.
Well,
this
let's hear
palaver
another song.
continues
Let's hear
much
another
longer.
song. Okay.
All right.
that's
How
good.
about one on guitar?
That's great.
Well, I don't know.
When you
Oh,
were
yeah.
in jazz school, was it primarily a?
Don't go too far with that microphone. There.
When you were in jazz school, was it primarily your guitar or your piano that
Piano.
you focused on? I see.
Yeah, that's what I was studying.
So you just do guitar for fun.
We're trying to get
That's
a
right.
second-rate instrument now.
For fun. That's right. Opposed to being serious. What do we have here? A song about that highway we all know and love.
95.
Every day at 4. I was actually referring to the more picturesque Dixie Highway.
That's where 95 is an interstate, so I was
Kind of.
wrong there.
Right. I live right off of it.
The scenic route.
The scenic route.
Dixie Highway, going my way. Dixie Highway, going my way. Dixie Highway, sleek Cadillac, all I see is your face, and I'm coming back. Police, won't you get on the line? Tell that woman I'm coming, if you don't mind. I got no time for the red light. I got no time for the toll. Ain't been rocking since I left her, and I'm ready for a roll. Dixie Highway, going my way. Dixie Highway, going my way. Dixie Highway, sleep, Cadillac, wanna see your face, and I'm coming back. The red light, please, won't you change on the green? Like a town right here, make her see I got the loving motor humming. I don't need a highway map. Got 200 horses pushing for my destination, running on down the highway, going my way. Dixie Highway, going my way. Dixie Highway, sleep, Cadillac, all I see is your face. I'm coming back. Ain't nothing in my rearview mirror gonna keep me from you. Ain't nothing like being near her and racing the moon in the sun. Darling, please remember your man. Well, I'm finally here, babe. I'm in your hands. I'm ready
Great stuff.
Yeah, very good.
No, I know why. I could see why. It's obvious that you're making a good living. It's you're.
Thank you.
You're
Why
very
is that? Why is that?
Yeah, he sounds great. He's both on guitar and
Here,
piano.
lend me a couple of bucks for lunch.
Very good. Yeah.
Well, we have. I don't know. Do we have time to fit? Yeah, can you do another small one, or
Sure.
should we
Well,
go
we
to?
could always
let me do a
maybe
little blues.
during the
Little-
credits. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Frank. Let's hold it off to
All
the
right.
end of the show, okay?
You got it?
Yeah.
And that way we can keep the listeners to tune in.
Mr. Stock,
Keep
I
with
would
us.
like to congratulate you on the way that you really are moving to the last show too. And I don't know if you folks at home have noticed that Mr. Stock has really been moving the shows along a little bit more, not quite so much of those boring questions that you've come to know and love. And I was wondering if perhaps our resident Siskel and Egbert in the control room had anything to do with that. I'm referring, of course, to Artie.
Artie, he's.
Yeah, Artie, and he made a comment about our first show today. We
Oh.
do 4 of them in a day.
But we're running out of time.
and-
Can you
and,
please speed this up? What are you getting to?
well, he was referring to the fact that we had a rather extended interview with one of our guests, a mime, in fact, Darby Hayes. He felt like, is this a little mime that you're doing, Mr. Stock? Are you miming a tired person?
Are you through yet? Are you through?
Well, he was just commenting that being a mime, that I guess he seemed to feel that she was getting it all out after all those years of performing and not saying anything. She was getting all the talking out on one show, and he wasn't too happy about it. So I noticed ever
wasn't.
since then. Yeah, Artie wasn't.
Artie?
I've noticed it ever since then.
See, Artie can't turn it off because he's the controller. He has to watch the show. That's the trouble.
He's getting a
with it.
little tired in here. And,
Yeah. Well, Artie, I apologize. And can we go on now?
Well, didn't he also have a? He's also our fashion consultant, Artie, and I thought he had a few comments about Boomslang's wardrobe.
Well, could mention that, but Artie is a big fan of the show, and he just mentions why Boomslang doesn't change his clothes, and we could ask him that.
Let's ask
Let
him.
me first
Now,
introduce
that's a
him.
good question.
Let me first introduce Mr. Boomslang. He comes here once a month on the TV show because it's very important that the Dade County, the school board gets represented
The
here.
school
The school board here that runs this station here, that owns our lives. They put on 7-hour, 8-hour meetings every other week to run the school boards of Dade County. And not many of us get to watch them and get the value out of them that they're there for on TV and radio and WLRN. And Boomslang watches them religiously. And he's here every month to keep us up to date on what happens. And it's very difficult, actually, all the time we give Boomslangs less than 10 minutes to tell us what's happening in those 7 hours every week. And unfortunately, today's show, we're running out of time. So if you don't mind, Boomslang, can you hurry it along?
Let's get to the important question.
Yeah,
now.
sure. In fact, I thought I might hurry it along to maybe even get to one of my little songs because, I do cover the school board meetings in depth. And I take copious notes. And not only that, I stay after with staff. And that's why I bring you some issues that you hear no place else on no other cable TV show.
And not even on the school board meetings.
And I know you guys are what we might call citizen educational experts, and you always got perceptive questions about the school board.
Thank you.
So
Searing questions.
Before we get into that, maybe I could do a song.
Well, it's a little bit unorthodox, but
Right.
since you'd...
Mr. Stock, would you notice that he called it a little song?
a little song.
Have you ever known Boomslang to do a little song, or as in a short song?
There's always a first.
He may not have time to do any school
Okay.
board meetings
Well,
if he's going to start the song first.
That is kind of suspicious, the fact that he started right away with the song. But
It's all right, though.
I'll let him have control of...
Besides being a school board correspondent, I'm also a fairly well-known notary public throughout the state of Florida. And I notarize a lot of important documents in a lot of small towns. And I go to notary public conventions. And I don't know if you guys go to many conventions and conferences and workshops.
All the time.
But I always feel I got there a day late. It seems everybody else is in a little group and they've known each other from high school, it seems. And it's hard enough to pick, it's hard enough to come on to one person without trying to pick up a whole group. And I'm usually wearing my red business suit with my pink shirt because I'm from sunny South Florida, and I always feel that maybe some of the more conservative notaries from North Florida and Mid-Florida think I'm a little strange. Well, this is about that. Florida notary convention, I was filled with apprehension. Would they think I was a little weird? At the intermission, it confirmed my worst suspicion. They were in tight little groups just like I feared. There was Helen from Dunellen, and Eden from Dunedin, and Margot from Key Largo. Julie from Yulee, and Sally from Ugali, and Mabel from Cape Sable. Zelda from Felda, and Faye from Del Rey, and I think Abigail's from Lake Wales. They were all squeezed together just as happy as can be, and there wasn't any room for me. So I said, I'll see you later, heading toward the elevator for the mezzanine. As the door swung open wide, who should I see there inside but that same tight little group that I'd just seen? There was Helen from Dunellen, and Eden from Dunedin, and Mona from Daytona. Julie from Yulee, and Sally from Ugali, and Myrna from New Smyrna. Chloe from Ocoee, and Anna from Lantana, and Abigail is really from Palmdale. They were all squeezed together just as happy as can be, and there wasn't any room for me. Being of good cheer, I bought myself a beer, but I spilled it on the stair. I ducked into the ladies' room to try and find a mop or broom, and guess who I found there?
Who?
There was Wendell from Kendall,
Wendell?
and Bruno from Juneau, and Jose from South Bay. Howard from Broward, and Hanford from Sanford, and Fernando from Orlando. A guy with a face like Phil's from Howie in the Hills, and I know Jim's from Mims. They were all squeezed together just as happy as can be, and there wasn't any room for me. They were all squeezed together just as happy as can be, and there wasn't any room for me.
All right. What did I tell you, Mr. Stock? You know what our director just said to me?
What did
2
she
minutes
One
left.
more minute, right.
Did
Well-
you time that song, that little song?
Boomslang, well, no, but thank you for sharing that with us. I could see how that would get you upset, and I hope that doesn't run over into the school board meetings and try to
I
isolate
keep
you
the
there.
two separate.
Good. And that about does it for the
I
show.
think he'd run out of material about the school board, so he just thought he'd do a song first. And
There's a lot of
No,
material.
you never have time.
And I guess we'll just have to wait the next month to talk to Boomslang about his clothes.
It'll wait.
And,
yeah,
that could wait.
Hey, close time, man.
well, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is New Traditions. We're here every month, every week, every other day.
I'd like to point out, too, that he doesn't wear the same outfit every time, because the very first show that he was on, the one where I insisted that he become a regular guest, because I saw a certain something
He's
in
to blame.
Boomslang.
Blame him.
Red underwear, right?
I knew. No, he wasn't wearing that outfit at all. He had on.
Okay, well, thank you, Alan.
you know-
I think we're running out of...
It was a good one, though.
Okay, well, I want to get to
Nice
one more song.
polyester shirt. It would have gone well with that red
Mr.
suit,
Poe?
I
Mr.
think.
Poe?
Mm,
Are you through?
not really. I
Well,
wasn't,
you're
no.
through now. Thank you for tuning in. I want to get one more song by Frank in. And tune in every week to New Traditions. And Frank, thank you, Boomslang. And Frank Thornton, how about a song to take us to the end?
All right, we'll do a little blues to take it out.
Great.